Well, it's Sunday, a little after 11. I got out here about, maybe an hour ago. I got this whole assembly mounted, and I have not yet started to bleed the brakes, but it's mounted. And here's the cover for the switch I took out. And I'm gonna put the fluid in now and start bleeding the front brake and see how it goes. I was able to go into my, we used to refer to things like this as our junk box, okay? Well, let's put these back in. I don't refer to this as my junk box anymore. My junk box is all this over here. I refer to this as my future reuse storage bins, all filled with all kinds of neat stuff that, who knows, might be needed someday. You just never know. And these up here also. All of this is filled with future reuse. You just never know. Ooh, look at all that good stuff. Wow. Do this for a while and you'll have that same, you should see Kevin's. Kevin's only been doing this for a few years and he's already got a wall full of future reuse. It happens. Okay, so I'm going to start trying to bleed this front brake system. Now, one of the fun parts about the front brake system is bubbles tend to catch right here, and they're really difficult to get out. The best way to do it is to put the bike on the floor and turn the handlebars as far to the left as possible to try to get as vertical as possible. You can also take this off. I'm not going to do it, I don't think, and just hold it over here so that the bubbles come straight up. We'll see what I decide to do. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's where we are. All right, so I've got the bike on the lift. I've got the wheel off the ground and off the lift and turned all the way to the left. I've got a pretty good straight shot up here. This could be an accumulation point, but let's find out. Right now, I'm just trying to pump oil, hydraulic fluid, brake fluid down into the caliper, getting some milk bubbles out of here. As soon as the bubbles stop, I can already feel pressure on the lever. Fewer and fewer and fewer. You do this with the lever to break them free. Get the little ones out of there. Now I should have fluid all the way down and through the caliper. This is difficult one-handed. I'm going to I guess I'll set the tripod up. I'll be back in a second. All right, so let's watch for bubbles down there as I pump the master cylinder a little bit. Get the fluid up there. Let's go over here and show you that I've got fluid coming out of the master cylinder right here. So it's leaking inside. One of these seals is not correct. All right, so I'll take it apart. Not today. We have plans for the day and take a look and see what's happening. Okay. And sometimes you get to do a job twice. Well, it is the next day, and it's about 20 to 10. I've just decided, I did some more computer work this morning. I've decided that I am going to take this master cylinder off. I think it's leaking in here. I think it's time, it'll come off. Now, the reason I didn't want to take it off yesterday is really did not want to break this seal right here. gosh. To break that, to undo this brake line, you can't just undo it. Maybe I can break it free and spin this. You see, to undo that, you have to take it off the other end. And the other end is buried down here, inside here. You can see it down underneath the dashboard. So it's down here into a bracket, screwed in. And you have to undo that end so that you can turn the hose and unscrew it from this end. Now, to get at that fitting down there, the windshield has to come off, well, RC Levy, but the headlight has to come out, the dashboard has to come off, and while you're at it, because you need the room, you take off the top nuts and get the instruments out of the way. So at least the headlight, which means the turn signals, the headlight and the dashboard have to come out of the way so you can unscrew the locking nut on that hydraulic line that goes between the two. It gets real complicated real quick. So I really didn't want to do that. I still don't want to do that. I especially don't want to do that and not replace this tube because it's original and theoretically a good idea to change it. So I really didn't want to undo it and then not change it. And I don't have one to replace it. All in all, it's a pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this seal here with a wrench. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to spin it around and around and around and around and around and around and try to undo it from that hose so I can leave the hose in place. Sounds complicated, sounds like a pain. It is both. It is complicated and it is a pain. And chances are pretty high I'll end up taking that whole hose off. And I don't know, that's just where we are. So this is where we are on Monday morning, the day after yesterday. So anyway, the fun just never stops. Look at it way down in there, way down in there, down in there. One of the most complicated front brake hosing systems I've ever seen. 3 separate hoses just to get down to the caliper. Ah, sigh.